Hi, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with the Coach. I'm Randy Levin. I am founder and CEO of Randy Levin Coaching. I'm a certified transitional life strategist, author, inspirational speaker, and reinvention expert, which is an elaborate way of saying that life doesn't play out in a straight line, and we are simply not the same people, the same women at 40 or 50 or 60 that we were at 20. And we're not supposed to be. Change is supposed to happen. So what's next for you? We are going to do an incredible panel discussion today, all about motherhood, all about the woman behind being the mom and everything that is part of that. And my co-host today is Jen Marchetti, and our guests are Fern Weiss and Noreen Heffernan, and I want everyone to introduce themselves. So Jen, would you take it from there?
Sure. Well, first I'm excited to kick off Mother's Day weekend. We're hopefully going to get a little bit of sunshine. Maybe, we don't know. But I'm excited to be with you ladies today. My name is Jen Marchetti. I am the owner of Rigid Moms Media Group, as well as Power Network. I would say that my work is my passion, which is enriching the lives of women, not in mind, body, and soul, as well as trying to help women find their true power. And I would say my common themes always of everything that I do is to create communities for women to support one another and to help each other grow. So I'm very pro-women. I love both Rigid Moms community and the new startup of Power Network. And it's just a wonderful place to be for women who are looking for the next thing that they personally want to achieve in life.
Awesome. Fern?
Well, good morning. I am thrilled to be here on my first blab. And I'm good at blabbing, so we should be okay. My name is Fern Weiss. I'm a parent coach, and I work with parents of teens, tweens, and young adults who are going through difficult situations. And my job is to help empower the parents to raise their kids to be independent, fulfilled people. But that takes a little more confidence than some parents are feeling right now. So that's my nutshell, communication skills, relationship building, boundary setting. But it all starts at home, starts with moms and dads, and that's where I come in. Thanks.
Thank you. Noreen?
So I think it's funny that the common theme is empowering, because I feel like that's what we all want to do. That's what I want to do. I am Noreen Heffernan. Hello. I'm a mom blogger and the CEO of Growing Ladies. I'm also a contributor of Rigid Moms. And basically, I write the truth about motherhood. I don't sugarcoat. We're all on this journey together, and I really try to empower moms, create a supportive net for us, and really just want to write with truth and honesty. So that's what I do.
I love it. And we are, all of us, part of Jen's wonderful community with Ridgewood Moms and Power Network and all that she does and amazing journey she's on, and we're all happy to be part of that. Yeah. So that every day should be Mother's Day. What is this one day a year thing, right? As moms, how can we stay on top of our value all year long and really be strong in not only our roles as moms, as wives, as heads of our family, but as women? Any great ideas on that from everybody?
I do. I actually want to share something. I spoke at an event last year on motherhood, uncensored. And one of the things that I think I realized about what it is that we want for ourselves is that I feel like when we become mothers, we are the all. We give everybody access to us at all times. And what we don't realize is that by doing that, we lose a sense of ourselves. And then we become exhausted, and then we become upset, and then we can't handle, and you're yelling, and nothing's going your way, and you don't have time to do what you want to do. And what I realized at that event was, and also because I was dressed early in the morning, I had said to the women there, we have to define what we do want out of our lives as if it's a business. If motherhood is going to be, during, maybe 9 to 5, then give ourselves, maybe 6 to 7 to do a walk, by ourselves in the morning, or at nighttime from 8 to 9, maybe you read a book. Or I feel that you really have to look at each day, and each day is different, as we know, because we're getting challenges. But I think it's important to define what it is that you want, but also to your partner. and to your husband, and to say, okay, I know that we haven't gone out and I'm always like, oh, don't worry about it, or we're so busy. But I think it is important for us to step up and put that definition up to say, but I still am a woman and I still want to go out maybe once a night or once a week or once a month or whatever that may be. Yeah, once a night. And I think it's up to us. I think the responsibility falls on us, because I feel that everybody, when you start the motherhood thing, you're just trying to do everything and you're never doing anything for yourself. You're doing for others. So I think if you become conscious of that and you say, wait a second, I just need to start maybe each day for an hour for myself, you start to kind of get that self back. And then you don't have that feeling that you don't have time to do anything for yourself. And I think that's where women start the frustration. And you don't want to feel, that you're angry at everybody because you don't get any time for yourself. I think you have to make that time for yourself.
Exactly. And that was beautifully said. And what I like to tell people is that you need to calendar yourself first, because this is true in motherhood and in everything else. If we don't put ourselves down, we don't get in the schedule. We're so busy doing everything for everybody else, putting everybody's agenda down, and this one's home and that one's away, and we have to be here, we have to be there. Where's that time for us? So if it's a class that you take, if it's an exercise situation that you want to make sure you have every day, you have to put it on your schedule.
Right.
Treat it like a business meeting.
And one of the things that I've noticed is if I put it on the calendar, I make an appointment with myself, for myself, or with my husband. Once it's there, I've set the expectation rather than just trying to fit it in the craziness of the day. Right. It's an appointment like any other appointment I would make with a client or a doctor or my mother, right?
Yeah. Sometimes though, you become so exhausted that you could have this appointment and say it's 7:30, but you had a crazy day with your kids and you are done putting them to bed and you kind of sit in your chair like this and you're like, I can't make that appointment. I can't do it. You're just so exhausted, which is kind of where I'm at, trying to do those appointments, but kind of, being so exhausted that I can't meet them.
Right.
Yeah, that's a very, very real assessment. And you don't need to have small kids to feel that exhaustion sometimes. But here's the thing.
Right.
What can you do in that? So now kids are sleeping. It's 7:30. What can you do? And is there some piece of that that's really all about you? So if you're reading that book that you've been looking at and you haven't opened, if it's mindlessly watching a movie that you've been wanting to do, if it's taking a nap, if it's, whatever it is, find your own space even within that. So maybe it's not the thing you put on your calendar.
Right.
Yeah, what is?
I don't think it has to be I don't think it has to be productive. I don't think you have to be a superstar in that 1 hour. Like sometimes I'll just go outside and I walk around my yard like a crazy woman. I walk around, I look at what's growing or maybe what I'll replant or what will I do with my house if I knock this wall down, I find just excitement in looking at the new possibilities that I might have in my yard someday. And just even to get away from, I have 3 boys. So just to get out of like that, which might be happening like, on the couch, if it's like, the wrestling war, even if I can just step out, walk around, like feel like breathing and this is beautiful and look at the flowers, even if it's just, 15 minutes. You don't have to like, start a company or, make a great career move. It's really just taking the space and saying, this is my time. Don't bother me for 15 minutes. And then, you come back. But you are the only one that's going to take your time to do that, because nobody is going to say, you know what, Mom, I think you need that 15 minutes to walk around the yard and feel awesome about yourself. Because the boys are going, I'm hungry. I want this. I want this. Your husband's going, where's, what did you do with this? So, it is up to us because we are running the house. We all know that. Regardless if you're working a full-time job or working a full-time job out of the house or in the house, you're still running that house. So nobody's going to look at you and say, it would be so great for you to take an hour walk. Or not that they don't want you to have it, but they see you as a certain role and you're the one to take back what it is, take back your power to say, no, actually, this is important and I'm going to do this, which really brings us into Mother's Day, right?
Right.
But I think that everybody gets to celebrate, remember us, kind of thing, which is important.
Right. But even when you put something on the calendar, as Randy said, you have the ability to decide not to do whatever it was. And the point there is that you have a choice at that point. Once it's in there and everybody knows this is mom time, you can choose to do whatever you want with it. And that's empowering too, to know that you have a choice rather than feeling resentful that you have to squeeze it in somewhere. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what are some of these lessons we've learned from what I call the hood? We have this incredible tool set. We're all moms in this group, and we're moms of children of very different ages, from baby all the way to my daughter graduating
30,
from college.
31.
Hers are out. It's an amazing journey, but we acquire this incredible tool set on the job, if you would. And it's a tool set we have then for the rest of our lives. It's things that we were already doing that now we've honed. It's things we never thought we could do or would do this way. Things we could take into the business world. What are some of those tools?
Patience.
Patience.
Yes.
That's the biggest one.
Oh my God, you're so right.
One of the things that I think, which is interesting, and Noreen, I have all boys, Noreen she has all girls. I think what's interesting that I learned is that everybody comes to the table with a different tool set who sits across from you. So when you were in work and you didn't, you just kind of had your life and you were doing business or even just, living life, you were coming from your one perspective, which is you. I mean, you wouldn't know any other perspective. I think when you have children, they open a different perspective because each child I have, each boy, is totally different. And one thing that makes Zach tick is something completely different than what makes Luke tick, that makes Logan tick. And so knowing that, I feel like now when I kind of go back into the world, I have a better ear to listen to when people speak. They're coming from totally different places in life. And that I think that I have the patience, as Noreen said, and I think maybe the respect to understand that everybody's different, but yet we're all the same, No one's really right or wrong. It's just your experience that you're bringing with you.
Right.
That's a great perspective. It really is. What other tools? What else do we?
Flexibility and adaptability for sure. Right, especially Noreen and all of us when we say that our time feels like it's never our own, depending upon where you are in mommyhood, right? So always being able to shift on a dime. Yeah.
You have to be organized to be a mom, I feel like, because if not, chaos ensues. So for me, I have lists. I pound out my list. That helps me get through the day. That helps me organize the kids' lives. I have a calendar of events and where I'm taking the kids and, things that I have to remember. I've never really been that organized, but I feel like when I became a mom, I definitely had to organize my mind, my life, the kids' lives, everything. So I think that helped.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
Multitasking. Yeah, exactly. And I think there's one in here that we all gain to some degree as moms, and we don't necessarily think about. And that's, we may have been perfectionists coming into motherhood, but just that on the job of being a mom, we realize how much we can't control, how much just happens. And we have to be able to be flexible, like we said, with that, but also to be able to let go of perfect, because it gets in the way of living and being and growing and, allowing our children to be. And I think that's one that we can then take
I would
in a
also
big way.
say the ability to love freely. The ability to love freely.
Yes. Without taking judgment
And
out of
just,
it, right? So less judgment.
no matter what you do, your children love you. But not only do they love you, but they freely love. There's never a tie to it. There's not a reason. Like, even if you see the pictures behind me, like, my boys will come in and they know I love rainbows. They'll draw pictures, say, Mom, I love you. Make me a picture and walk out. And I sit there and I think, God, did I say I love them today? Do I freely express myself so easily the way they do to me? And so for me, they've taught me a huge lesson of being aware of, you might think you say things to the people that you love, but sometimes you don't. You have it in your head. But my boys are very expressive of how they feel, good and bad. Mm-hmm.
And I love that idea of the love being unconditional, and pulling us right into what was next on my list, which was really that we know what we impart to our children, but our children teach us so very much at every different stage. And my daughter is about to graduate from college, and our relationship now is woman to woman. It's not so much mom to child as it is head on across the table, more as equals, and learning from her trials and errors and all of her stuff as well. So there's so much that we can absorb from them. Fern, I know that you have
for me personally, I never thought of myself as somebody who tried to control everything until we went through certain experiences in our family. And I went, oh my God, was that really me? Just looking at my kids, trying to make sure that they performed at a certain level, that I looked good. I know that comes up for parents a lot. But just the amount of control that I wanted on the outcomes was horrifying at times, until one day my son told me point blank, he was already 18 years old at the time, and he looked back and he said, Mom, there was one time when you intervened on my behalf, and basically the message I heard was, you can't do it. I have to help you through it. And whoa, the bells and whistles just started going off. Yeah.
That control thing is big for me because, my kids are so little, and I do have a lot of control right now. Mm-hmm. And my 6-year-old's getting to the age where she's going to need me to let go, and she's going to become more independent. And that losing that control is a really huge step for, I think, a mom with young kids, and like watching them grow and kind of, letting them go. That's where I'm at in that stage where I do, like, my baby, she's napped at this time, we have a schedule. I love the schedules, I really love them. Even my 4-year-old's like on a schedule, but I'm just seeing how you have to let go of the control and how hard it is as a mom. So I'm going through that right now.
And you will go through it for the rest of your life. The ante just ups. And I remember so vividly my children being that first day you drop off in preschool, that first day of kindergarten, the first day of high school. And nothing is quite as monumental as that driving away from college. Okay. Where I remember that my husband dared to say to me, can you drive? I was like, drive, I can't see. So, and you know what? To this day, my daughter's graduating. She just drove back on spring break for the last time to college. And I cried even then when she left, because it's that letting go. It's that idea of, oh, okay, you're not in the stroller, and I can't control the situation. And each age has a little different piece.
I mean, my daughter
was a funny day because I was at kind of two ends of the spectrum. And in the afternoon, my youngest is 5, so he's starting kindergarten in September. And yesterday we had the orientation for kindergarten. And so in the afternoon, I got him dressed up and we walked over there. And it was kind of funny because I felt like, you're sitting in these little chairs that are this big, and you're sitting there and they're in the other room. And I was like, wow, here we are. And this is so exciting. But at the same time, it was like, wow, I can't believe I'm here again. I did this. This is the 3rd round. And then the interesting thing is that night I was at the middle school for Zach's orientation for 6th grade. So I kind of had these two worlds, that it was exciting because for Logan, I was excited he was taking this big boy step for kindergarten, but he's still my baby. And yet I have, I'm at the middle school listening to these 6th and 7th and 8th graders speak. And I thought, oh, I'm so excited for Zach. Like, his independence and the next step, that's a big step, going to 6th grade. And so it is interesting. It was like, here I am on the same day going into two different phases,
It's another piece of that. You said with your last one, and I remember it so vividly. It still happens. I have children, my son's in high school, and there are things that you do and you say, oh my gosh, I'm here again. I know how to do this, I've done this. But then you have that thought of, I won't do this again.
Yeah.
This is the final time.
Yeah, so they're milestones for the kids, and they're also milestones for us.
Yes.
And you know, Randy, you talked about
Right.
watching your daughter leave for college. My daughter is 26 and she lives overseas. She was just home for 2 weeks, and we put her back on a plane on Tuesday. And every time, you would think after 5 years I would be used to this already. And every time it's this amazing transition that we have to go through. Here now, gone tomorrow, and also knowing that when there are things she's challenged by so far away, other than listening to her, there's really not much I can do. You know? So you talk, Noreen, you talk about stepping back and letting go a little bit. That's big time letting go.
Yeah.
Forced letting go. Yeah.
But it's interesting because, like you said, depending on, you know, we're all in these different stages. And, you know, when you're in the little kid stage, you don't think that you're going to do that again. Like you think that, oh, okay, we finally got him in kindergarten, and then, you know, that's the big move. But then here I am in 6th grade, but then here you are in college, and here you are out of college going across the sea. You know, it's all the same things. It's just at different stages. You're still going through that, you know, detachment, and praying that their independence, you know, brings them the responsibility that they can do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So, boundaries. How do you set boundaries? You know, sometimes the boundaries we need to set are the ones that we set out thinking we do. We need to have these parameters for our kids, but we need to think about what our own boundaries are as well. So where are we bringing some baggage into a situation? Where are we bringing in sometimes maybe our own limiting beliefs into what we are teaching our children or exposing our children? And where are we allowing them to find their own way a little bit?
That's a good question. I hope somebody can answer it for me.
Well, you know, I think this is something. But, you know, I think it's, again, I think what's interesting, and if you can be conscious enough about your own self, I pray that I don't put the limits on my children that I put on myself. Meaning, if my son was like, you know, he wanted to start soccer at age 4, whatever, I hope that I will, well, he's not ready yet, because it was really me that wasn't ready. I hope that, you know, I'm doing the right things for my children that isn't reflective of maybe the things that I might be working on personally. When you talk about like boundaries and limits, because again, I think it comes from your personal experience of what you think that means and how you were brought up or where your life is.
Right. Also, too, like setting boundaries for your children. Like, you know, my daughter, Kaylee, she likes to be home. She's a homebody, so she likes to be home. She likes her downtime. So when do you kind of push her, too, to like join, say, softball or lacrosse or something like that, where I know she would say no, but maybe when she got there, she would like it. When do you kind of push? When do you pull back? I have trouble with that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just exposure. You know, it's making it available to them. We're trying to, you know, get them to try something.
At least try it once, maybe. You know.
And you know, it's interesting too. And Fern, you might be able to jump in on here. For again, all my boys are different. And for Zach, if I pushed him when his light was not green, his light would stay red. He's a different child, I think, than the other 3. So Noreen, to your point, for me, you know, you'd sit there and you know he could do something, but his own, you know, beliefs are holding him back. And my husband and I were always like, when do we really give it the push? Or where do we sit back and say until he's ready?
Right, Kate, the same exact way. My oldest, same exact. Yeah.
And you don't want to push too soon and then turn them off.
Right.
And then start this relationship of this power struggle.
Right.
You know? So for Zach, the one thing that I do know is he doesn't move until his light is green. So until that light is green, then we can start to move him, but he has to be ready inside. Like he's a slow starter, but once he has that foundation, he's solid as a rock.
But does he tell you when he's ready?
Yeah.
Or you kind of
he'll start to warm up a little bit. Like I know his kind of, even if he brings up a topic, I kind of know he's ready for me to give him the extra, like, let's do it. Let's just give it a shot. But he was my first. And I think your first is also so different than your second and third.
Absolutely. Kaylee is my first too. Same exact issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Zach's a homebody.
Tell me.
He was my first. Yeah.
Well, so it's important that you know your kids.
Yeah.
Right? These are very personal decisions that you make, and I don't think there's ever any right or wrong absolute on that. Right? You've learned to read your kids pretty well.
Mm.
But sometimes they do need that push, or at least, as Randy said, she used the word exposure.
Yes.
So you give them the opportunity to check things out as much as you can. You open doors for them, and you have conversations which are more than just talking at them, right? We tend, when we want something for our kids, it comes out as a lecture. It's almost like the finger pointing without using your hand. But ask questions, you know? Make them think about it as opposed to you doing all the thinking for them, right? So what do you think about this? Would this be satisfying for you right now? How does it fit into your schedule? You never know what they're worried about.
Right.
So you can ask some leading questions to get that conversation going.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't know
what
they're worried about.
Yeah.
So, stress. We don't have that, right? Because being a mother is like really easy. It's a lot of hard work, and we are the glue. I always walk around saying I'm the glue, because I am. We're the glue that holds a lot of other things together, and we kind of take it for granted. It goes with the job, but it also creates some stress. And if we're not giving ourselves that time on our calendar that we were discussing a little bit earlier, that can be an overwhelm, and that can be a situation. So what are some of these self-love things that we can do, and kind of giving ourselves a bonus? I was at a workshop that I was giving last week, and one of the moms in the group raised her hand, and she said, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom now. I was in the business world for years, and my husband goes off to work, and at the end of the year, he gets this big monetary bonus. You know, he's rewarded for the good job that he does. And as much as I melt when my children give me a compliment or say, I love you, as much as, you know, I know my husband's, you know, proud of me and whatever, it's not measurable the same way. Where's my bonus? And my answer to her was this. I said, well, it's not dollars and cents. It's you figuring out what you want your bonus to be, because where does it have to come from? It has to come from you. Has to come from your own heart to you, because you know the job that you're doing. So maybe that bonus is that spa thing. Maybe it's time with your girlfriends. Maybe it is something that you are purchasing that you've wanted to. Maybe it's, you know, reworking the way something's happening in your house, or, you know, buying something for your house. You know, it can be those types of things, or it can be something that's more spiritual. But there's a bonus that we should be giving ourselves back. Anybody want to talk about some of the things that we can do to de-stress and to applaud ourselves, essentially?
I'm always going to go back to the same thing for me. Every day I start it with myself. And I'm a runner.
Mm-hmm.
People in my neighborhood know I'm a runner. I'm a crazy one, meaning not like, you know, fast or, you know, training for some kind of marathon. My day starts with me. I put on my headphones. I listen to the music that I want to listen to as loud as I want. I usually am lip syncing, kind of doing like this weird thing when I'm running. Everyone knows if they're beeping at me on the street, I don't hear anything. It's my total sanctuary, that whatever it is that I run. People are like, how far do you run? I'm like, until I'm done. Like it's just where I need to be in that space. Like this morning, it's pouring rain. I'm out there. It's my time to be with me, with my thoughts, with my dreams, with my agenda for the day or what I want to achieve. And once I get that run in, and then I usually will do a meditation after that. When that's done, that's all I need. Like that brings me into my total balance for the day. And then I can take anything on. If I skip any of that, my day is completely different. It's like my breath. It's like a coffee and maybe in the morning. I don't drink coffee. So everybody says like, I need my coffee in the morning. That is what I need in the morning. That is my first gift that I give to myself. My last gift is if I get to bed early and I read. So for me, that's my fulfillment. That is my everything, my gifts to myself. And that's what makes me tick each day. That's what keeps me going.
Great. And that's the self-love. That's
self-love. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is
it's your own bonus to you.
Self-love for me too. I like fitness, reading. I love that. And also keeping my environment decluttered and clean, helping me get through the day, things like that. That helps me too. But same thing. A good spin class. There's nothing better to me than a good spin class, a dance class, something to focus on, get your mind off everything else, and feel that self-love. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Well, you ladies can take an extra run or an extra spin class from me. Thank you very much. Exercise isn't my thing, although I'm getting better at it, but I love to read.
Yeah.
And also, I find that with my work, I don't have that many opportunities to be creative in that more traditional sense of the word. So for me, I make hand-decorated note cards and I knit blankets and things. So when I'm using my hands and creating something of beauty, when I don't particularly consider myself to be artistic, this is a real special outlet for me.
Mm-hmm. I think it's anything outside of the norm, right? Mm-hmm. Anything outside of the norm. And I feel like women will go into anything that's creative. And whether it's, and even I feel like running is my creative, you know, it's kind of where I lose my mind and where I can kind of create, you know, when I'm running, I'm always thinking of what's next and what I want to do and what are my dreams. And that's, you know, it's not the run, it's actually the creative, you know, energy that I get to kind of exercise, and the run just kind of goes with it. So, you know, I think women are that way. I think we love beauty. We love anything. Even walking around the house or buying flowers for yourself and putting it into the kitchen. I think that is something that you can treat yourself to.
This may sound a little weird, but hot showers are,
yes.
A long hot shower is a real indulgence, but I also find that, like you, Jen, on your runs, all of a sudden there are no distractions there. And I get some of the most amazing ideas for my articles, for people to reach out to, whatever it is.
Yep.
That comes to me in the shower of all places.
Yeah.
That's very common, Fern, actually. Anytime we allow ourselves to pause in the moment and to be able to think, the pause is my thing. And it's big, and it's something that we can all use in real life as well, because we don't stop long enough to be able to take in the moment that we're in. What's really going on for us? What are the next steps? We're so busy reacting to our kids, to our husband, to the worlds around us that we, you know, don't take in the time to see what's really going on. And it's important to remember that. If you think about how our children play when they're little, Noreen, you'll appreciate this. You know, they're all like crazy with the toys, throwing them around. They're role playing. They're princesses. They're kings. They're whatever they are. But they're in the moment, right? Yeah. And they're spontaneity, creativity, allow themselves to, you know, just go with whatever's happening for them. What piece of that can we take as adults, as women, and be able to use and say, hey, you know, it worked when we were little. It's working for them. Maybe there's to that, you know, that pause, that moment in time that we're in, and you know, what will that then give us back as parents? Karen, do you speak about that when
spontaneity? Not too often.
Spontaneity, but being able to respond versus react to a situation.
Yes, I do. That's a different topic than what you were just talking about, but. Basically, the difference between responding and reacting. Reaction is from emotion, and it never goes anywhere good.
Right.
So you have to do, as you said, so that's where that pause comes in again. You have to take that pause so you can think about how you want to respond. And be as neutral as possible. You watch your tone, but you really say what you mean in a way that can be heard.
I need help with this. I definitely need help.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Well, what happened to me last night is I'm launching a new business. So one of my friends came over And I put my girls to sleep and I told them, my friend's coming over. We're going to talk business. You guys need to go to bed. And I knew they can't accept this. And my husband was out.
Wow.
So we were down. They went to bed. Okay. We were downstairs with our computers, and my daughter comes down, my oldest, crying hysterically. Her eyes hurt. Her tummy hurts. I'm like, here's some eye. I tried to stay calm and not react because I know she was just playing me, So here are your eye drops. Let's go. And then she just starts like wailing, crying. And I'm like, oh my God. And I know she's just doing this because I have somebody here, and I wanted to react and be like, you're just doing this because you want to come downstairs. And I was like, go to sleep. I reacted poorly. I didn't pause and think. And every time I do that, I say to myself, I have to be better at this. Can I get better at this? But these things come up and I just react. And she's upset. And I bet her eye did hurt. She's got these seasonal allergies. I bet they hurt, but not this dramatic. You know what I mean? It was very dramatic. So I reacted on the spot, and I think it made it worse. So.
Well, I do owe you a phone call, so we'll get that set up. But that being said, you brought up the point that you knew she was upset about something, and that's where you go. You start with that, sweetheart. What's your daughter's name?
Kaylee.
Ailey?
Kaylee with the C.
Kaylee. Okay. Kaylee, honey, you'd rather be spending time with mommy, wouldn't you? Instead of upstairs alone in your room, right?
I knew that. I should have said
I know you know that.
Right?
So we have to kind of have a cheat sheet of default responses that you go to, right? You develop that. I'm going to pull that one out today.
No, but you're right, and that's the thing. I knew that, but I don't say it. I instead get upset and angry, and I say other things when I should say, you really do want to be downstairs with us, don't you? Is this why you're crying? Why didn't I just say that? She probably would.
Well, welcome to the human race.
Because you're here already. You're already done.
I'm already here.
You're done.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
That's what I say to my boys. When I go like this, they know to get in the room. They do. I go, here's where I am. Bring it. Because you know where it's going. It's great. It's a great technique.
Yeah. But that's a kind of boundary setting. Right? Where you let people know how far you will go and how much you're going to engage.
Right.
And when you've developed the system, when they see this, they know to head for the hills.
Yes, they do. They usually say, don't kill me, and they run.
Well,
it's great.
Like that mom that puts the bag over her head. Did you ever see that? When she has that bag on her head, that's it. She's done. I need a bag on my head. But I would be wearing it all day long. I would just walk around with the bag with
slits for eyes. Yeah.
We've got great techniques here, Fern.
Hey, I'm learning from you every day.
I love it. What does legacy have to do with anything? That's like my buzzword right now. I've been thinking a lot about legacy. Maybe because it's Mother's Day. It's my first Mother's Day without my mom, and so it kind of brings these things to the forefront. And I'm thinking about what brought me into coaching. And one of the things that I asked myself, not only did I look back and say, what would I do if it were 10 years ago, but I looked ahead and I said, well, I'm 85 and I look back at this point in my life. What do I want to say that I've accomplished? What do I want that legacy to be? And of course, our legacy is about us, but it's for our children. It's for everyone, that loves us and our world around us. So what do we want that legacy to be?
I feel like
what does that mean?
Kindness. I feel like that's the legacy. For me, if I can teach my girls to be kind to other people, and that is the legacy I would be happy with, right? Because that's what my mom taught me. And that's where, sometimes our world, I just feel like kindness is the way to go, right? Teaching your children to be kind. That would be my legacy.
Yeah, I like that too. And that whole idea that our job is to it sounds really corny, but it's to be love. But it's that, what does that mean to be love? And that's part of acceptance, recognizing that everyone else has a story and that it isn't about me in the moment. Right. So that's kindness as well. I think they're all tied together. But just to bring out the best in other people. Yeah.
I have a funny story. I was drawing pictures with Zach. He was maybe 3 years old. And you guys know me, right? So you know where my passion is in life. I've never changed. I've been very, with the strength of women and really promoting that. And so my son and I are sitting, he's probably 3, we're drawing pictures. And, I made a bicycle and I made a girl on the bike. And I said, oh, this is me on the bike. And we're going to the park or something. And he looked at the picture and he says, that's you? And I said, yeah. He goes, girls don't ride bikes. And I'm like, what? He goes, only boys can ride bikes. 3 years old. I looked at him. I said, who gave birth to you? Where did this kid come from? So it's interesting because I feel that I want my legacy for my boys, my husband, for me to know how important women are, that we are equal partners, that we are the same value, and that everybody in the world, therefore, is equal, that there isn't an inequality, and that we all should be inclusive of accepting everybody, and everybody has something to offer to this world. So when Zach put together his 5th grade yearbook, they had to put what do you want to be in this world? And he says, I just want to be a positive role model for everyone. And I thought, okay, because that's being, right? We're all one humanity. And I think for me, that's what I'm always achieving is that, bringing women into their power, making everyone be equal partners and be equal partners in the world, on earth, that we're all in it together. Nobody is different. No one is different. We might look different, but nobody is different. And that is definitely something that I pray that I'm instilling in my boys.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Wonderful. For me, it's really that piece of anything's possible, and you can do anything you want to do, and there's no time restriction on that. There's no expiration date on it. You're a work in progress. And I think it's an important message. My kids are high school and finishing college, and we go through all these points in time that are significant. So we come out of college and we've majored in X, and now we have to do this. But the important piece is, yes, you want to try it, you want to do it, but you don't have to do that. You can do something else. You may find some other piece of that you didn't know existed that may be the thing that you do going forward. And just be mindful that things aren't always in stone, that you have that ability in what you do and with yourself to know that there's a what's next. And you should be wanting to learn and grow and move into
That makes me
that.
happy.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
What?
Yeah, it really does.
That makes you happy?
And I have to say, Jen, you already do that. You already empower people. And, Randy, you said you want, Jen said she wants women to feel empowered, and you do that for me. And, and anything is possible. I feel like Jen kind of taught me that. Where I was just this, I chose to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm happy to be a stay-at-home mom, but here this other world opened up, and here I'm sitting here. And to me, this defines that anything is possible for anybody, for moms included. It's just a great network, and it makes me happy. Thank you.
Well, Randy, on the reinvention, I think what's so amazing is you're looking at 4 women right now who reinvented themselves. We're all we have all reinvented ourselves. We all came from somewhere else. We all had a different life before we came what we are today. And I know we'll evolve into something new tomorrow. And I didn't realize that until really I had kids, and I started realizing that's not actually it for me. And it kind of pushed me in the next direction of what is it that I want. But, to Randy and talking about reinvention, I mean, here's a great example. Here's 4 women, and we did it, and we're doing it. And we're doing it.
If you
If you had asked me when I was 45, what would I be doing when I'm 60, which I am, I would have said, well, what I'm doing now, of course.
Right.
Right? We have this feeling that our choices are forever choices.
Yes.
And our decisions are written in stone. And I'm happy to say that in my 50s, I came to the parent coaching. And I feel like I'm just getting started. That's the beauty of it. It's really exciting.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's the joy of it, is that to settle for what we did or what we like or don't like from before, because we change and our circumstances change. We don't have kids, then we do have kids, and they need us for everything, then they don't need us at all. Relationships, we get married and we buy into the Disney princess thing, and it's forever, except that the statistics will tell us that divorce is about half, right? So if half the people getting married are getting divorced, then it's not forever. And
I think that's really important for our children to see.
Yeah.
That change is possible at any age, right? You just have you have to have the courage to just take that one step in that direction, and that they're not locked in. They think that where they are today, whatever they majored in college, as you said, Randy, that's it.
Yeah.
And they're locked into position. But no, there's a world of opportunity out there.
Yeah.
And for you and I, we tried to do what we're doing now out of college. It didn't exist.
Right.
Well, we couldn't have done it. So that's the beauty. It was that our world changes so quickly that some of the things that are available now weren't available then, and or hadn't grown into what they are. So they wouldn't have been something that we would have opted to do or not do. It wouldn't have been on our radar. So if we're not,
but the other piece of it is, and I'll be 45 next Saturday. At 45, I wasn't who I was at 40. At 40, I wouldn't have been able to do the things I'm planning on doing tomorrow and in the next year. So when you do look at, when you say you're not the same as 20, as 30, as 40, we can look at that and we all can say, yeah, that's absolutely true. So then why is it such a far stretch to say your interests in life also change? You might have started on a path and you wanted to be a teacher, but now all of a sudden your passion is to teach meditation. Well, why can't you do that? You can. And right now, I think what's beautiful about this world is there's so much opportunity. And not only that, but there's so many networks that you can get into to just start, just talk to them and just, get a mentor and just take one baby step in one direction. You don't have to leave everything on the table where you are, but you can do a lot of things. You can multitask if you're a woman, right? We just said that. You can do a lot of things at the same time. And I think that's so important to not be afraid of the change. Embrace it. Embrace it.
Because that's where the joy is, on the other side of that fear that's holding you back from embracing it.
And I think that's part of what I want my legacy to be to my children, is to have the strength to not only cope and deal with what life throws at them, but to branch out and be curious and take some really healthy risks and see what they're capable of, right? What's out there for them, and not feel that mentally, emotionally, they're locked into one place.
Right.
And they're stuck. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, one last topic I want to talk about briefly, and it's a hot one. It's all about balance. And, I think for many years when I was a stay-at-home mom in particular, I looked at balance as having to be the end all. I couldn't, go out and to work because I couldn't do this. It had to be like this perfect scenario. And balance is all about letting go of perfect. Balance is about that surfer who's out on the ocean and he knows everything. He knows high tide, he knows low tide, he knows what he's doing till he doesn't, till he gets wiped out, but he gets back up again because he's got to readdress the changes and the ebbing and flowing of the ocean, and step into being able to rebalance and reposition, because balance has to move with us. So
that begs a redefining of what that word means, because we all hear that word balance, and what comes to mind is I have it all and I'm going to do it all and do it all really well.
Yeah.
Well, there are days when you have to make choices.
Yes.
And be flexible and adaptable and say, okay, balance today means that I let go of that project I wanted to do and I spend more time with my children, or vice versa, right? I recently heard somebody say in response to that question about balance, she said, I'm sorry to tell you there is no such thing.
No, it's not.
Right?
I agree.
So we've taken that on as a responsibility that we have to do it all and do it all well. And we've done ourselves a disservice, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I think 10 years ago when I left craft and I started this entrepreneur world, they had the keyword of a mom entrepreneur, a mompreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you know, the superwoman cape, you know, with the women flying, and she was running a business full time and running a household full time and looking gorgeous full time. And there was, that was the beginning of kind of like, how do you balance it all? And everyone go on and say, I can do it. No, you can't.
No.
There is no such thing as balance. There is top three. Every day I say, what are the top three things I got to get done today? And whatever's fourth and I have time for, fantastic. But I make sure I hit what is important today. And I think what I have found over the 10 years of being in this entrepreneur space, do what's important for that day. And once you check that off, don't worry about anything until the next day. And then you feel successful because you hit three things. I would have a list of like 20 and I'd be up to like 2 a.m. and I'd be like, this is great. No, it wasn't great at all. What's great is when I'm happy, I get sleep, I read a book at night, I wake up and I run, and I don't get like this with my kids. That's balance. Right? That's it. Very simple.
It changes.
That's it.
Every day, those three things can be totally different things. And that's what you need to balance, if you want to use the word that day.
Right.
You know, I think people think balance is like this, but sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like this. Like you just, I agree.
Right.
It's your choice, Fern,
You're
right?
always a choice. Always.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't feel that way.
You always have the power.
Right. All right, ladies, this is wonderful. And what I want to do is tell everybody where they can find us and what we're doing next. And I'm going to start. So you can find me on my website always at www.randylevincoaching.com. And I have some freebies. You can download my free ebook, 9 Actionable Tips for Mastering Your Road to Reinvention, which are 9 of the tips that I use with my private clients and some action steps involved that you can start today on your own. You can find conversations with the coach under the talk show tab, so you can go back and review this one as well as any other conversations with the coach, all rich topics, great guests, wonderful content. And I offer you a free 30-minute strategy session to talk about what's next, motherhood or anything else in your life. And next conversations with the coach, just put that together. It's all about gratitude on the 24th in the evening, and there'll be lots of press on that. And on 6/13, it is a Clear It Out, the art of letting go and releasing stress. So the first one with gratitude is with Russ Terry, who is a gratitude expert. And the second one, Clearing It Out, is with Lois Kramer Perez, who is a wonderful intuitive healer and Feng Shui expert. And so it's going to be fantastic. And also one live event that I just want to give a quick shout out to on 5/20. It's the 3rd round of Women in Worth. This one is called Sizzling Summer 16, Relax, Reboot, and Relaunch Your Mindset, Your Money, and Your Style. It's with myself, Carrie Fitzgerald, and Martha Fickinger at Morgan Stanley in their new offices in Paramus. So welcome everybody to come out who's local for that.
Well,
Jen,
I would say,
where can we find you?
you know, I would love everyone to join the community of Rigid Moms or Power Network. It's for every woman. There's always information by amazing experts. There's 3 right here that write for Rigid Moms. Sign up for the newsletter. It's ridgewoodmoms.com. Power Network is spelled POWHERNETWORK.com. Again, sign up for the newsletter. You can find out everything that's going on. Power Network has amazing workshops, talk shows, tons of great articles, job postings. There's tons of things for women that are looking to take the next step of action in their lives. And I welcome everybody to join. Just join up for the newsletter and you'll hear everything that's going on.
Okay, thank you. You can find me at fernweiss.com, and it's Weiss with 1 S, WEIS. And when you get there, you'll find a download, a free download that you can get called the 9 was yours, not mine. 5 powerful tips to get your team to talk. And when you sign up for that, you'll also get a weekly or biweekly newsletter, articles, program announcements, and more. There's a blog with over 100 articles on it now about parenting. And even though I work with parents, for the most part, I do work with moms. So if you're interested in talking at a little deeper level about some of the things going on in your house that you'd like to see different, send me a note, give me a call. I also offer a 30-minute consultation. There is an event coming up next Tuesday for those of you who are in Northern New Jersey. It is Ask the Parent Coach, being hosted at the office of Dr. Stephanie Strozik in Ridgewood, 10 o'clock on Tuesday. The link is not on my website, but you will find it on Ridgewood Moms or on Power Network, or go straight to Eventbrite. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Noreen, tell us a little bit about
Well, so
your
you
blog.
can find me. I write for Jen. I try to write weekly. So you can find me on Ridgewood Mom. You can also find me on my fan page, my Facebook fan page. It's short and sweet for me. That's where you can find me.
Or with children hanging onto your
I want to
leg.
wish
Yes.
I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. Does anybody have parting words for women, for moms?
Take the weekend.
It's a
Take the weekend.
it's a tough job. Take the weekend, not the day.
Pedicure. Go get a manicure and a pedicure.
Yeah.
And no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a complete sentence. In life as well. It really is. Right. Unless we say no to some things, we don't have the room in our lives to say yes to the things that we really want and that really matter. It's been my joy to have all of you be part of this conversation with the coach. Happy Mother's Day. And this was great.
We'll do it again
Thanks.
sometime.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.